Digital audio health by Symatrax.
Welcome to the Rhonda Grant Show with your host, Rhonda Grant. If you believe that there is more to life than what you see right now, and you want to find out more, listen in as her guests share their journey and their extraordinary experiences. Now, here is your host, Rhonda Grant.
Welcome to the Rhonda Grant Show. Sometimes the universe has a way of placing people or obstacles in your path to help guide and direct you on your mission. Listen in as we discover the path my guest has traveled. Has she been inspired by a calling, crafted her journey, or a bit of both? I invite you to embrace the conversations and to use them to help you to recognize if this is happening in your life. Our guest today is Sheri Mills, who is a heart-centered nutritional transformational coach, entrepreneur, and speaker. She is the CEO and founder of Your Wellness Redefined, Inc., and the co-founder of Functional Wellness Network. Through her network of functional practitioners, she made nutritional and lifestyle changes along with amazing supplements to change her overall health, and she now lives pain-free and is off all prescriptions. She is now on a mission to help others on their journey to less pain and better health. Through personalized programs, she holds her clients' hand while they implement life changes so they too can achieve the results they need to live their best life naturally and full of renewed purpose and joy. Her clients have experienced a better quality of life since making changes in their lives. Welcome to the Rhonda Grant Show, Sheri.
Well, thank you. I'm looking forward to this.
You're welcome. We're going to have a wonderful journey. So what inspired you to take the journey that you're on to help others?
Oh, wow. What a loaded question.
Yes.
I was raised by a pharmaceutical salesman and a beautician, and I took the path of sales. I thought I wanted to get into law. That was overwhelming for me. Mm-hmm. I ended up being a hairdresser for a while. Yeah. I'm an empath, so I like to communicate with people, and when you're a hairdresser, you're a psychologist, a doctor, you're everything to them.
Everything.
But I did eventually transition into sales in my professional career, and that lasted about 38 years before I made a pivot.
Okay.
I was in telecommunication sales, and even though it was telecommunication, I found myself drawn to mostly the medical community. So my networking and working with clients was mostly the medical community. And so I made a pivot about 6 or 7 years ago when CBD and medical marijuana was just coming out, and went down that path for several years. Really enjoyed it, loved the science, learned so much. And the medications that we made, or the CBD products that we made, really made an impact on my health.
In what way? In what way, Sheri?
One of the things that was really big was I was very, very miserable in life due to menopause.
Oh, yes.
It was horrible. I mean, I'll never forget being on a sales call. This is a funny story, but it's sad too. I was at a sales call at an attorney's office, sitting across from the attorney. I'm in the middle of a sentence, and all of a sudden it hits me. And I go completely brain dead. And it looks like someone's taken a water can and is pouring water over me. I'm sweating so profusely. Mm-hmm. Makeup running down my face. And I reached over his desk and grabbed one of his files and started fanning myself. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Oh, no, it is warm in here. Let me get Betty to turn the air down." And I'm like, no, just give me a minute. It was so embarrassing. Life was embarrassing as a sales rep during those times. It really was. Yes. And one of the things that it did is it released that from me. And so that was a wonder. But it released a lot of pain and inflammation, made me sleep better, it gave me more clarity. And when that fizzled out, I went through a period of time. I lost my aunt and my mom, sisters, within 3 months of each other. And between trying to work a new business and being in the other side of the state, taking care of them and then the estates and all of that, it was quite a trying year.
Oh,
The
yes.
following year, I actually was almost immobilized for 4 months due to nerve pain. I have a very bad back, and I had been through several surgeries and injections and all sorts of stuff.
How did you hurt your back?
Well, I had a car accident when I was 18 was the first trauma on it, but there were several incidents, and I think I only have 3 decent vertebrae is what they tell me in my back.
Oh,
and
shoot.
I had a pinched nerve in my neck, so my neck and my back meet, and they wanted to do surgery, and that's terrifying because if it goes wrong, you're lifetime paralyzed, right? So
Right.
you don't want to go the surgery route if you don't have to.
Right.
And I literally living by myself, trying to take care of myself in a zero gravity chair for 4 months. I couldn't sit up straight. I couldn't do anything. It was horrible. And no one could help me. All the doctors, you know, they throw me in physical therapy. They want to do more injections, all this stuff that breaks down your tissues over time.
Okay.
Was very frustrating for me. And about a year and a half ago, after the pandemic, and we all started getting out a little bit more, I stopped by a friend of mine's pharmacy, and they introduced me to the biophotonic scanner.
Okay, so what is that?
This is a very cool tool. It's like a lie detector test on your health and wellness.
Okay.
It was invented by the NIH, and it reads your oxidative stress and your antioxidant levels. Now, there's something about actually physically putting your hand on the scanner that makes you trigger, let's finally do something about your health. So that was the beginning of my transformational journey, because and I've had so many discussions with people that live with pain and inflammation and cholesterol issues and whatnot, and they don't do anything about it because they don't really get anywhere with the doctors. They just mask everything with medication. And so I have fibromyalgia. I have a screaming syndrome. I have arthritis. I was having visual migraines that distorted my vision really badly for 12 years. High cholesterol, which genetically I'm predisposed for. I've been on statins since I was in my 20s. And a multiple of other things. I was going bald on the top of my head, which as a woman, as you can imagine, is very traumatic. So that's just a litany of things. There's more to come. But so I decided to learn more about this company that bought the global patents of this, which is Pharmanex. And it's backed by world-renowned nutraceuticals. They're the only ones that are in the physician's desk reference, lots of science, and I'm a science geek. So I was very intrigued with this. And I said, before I really start representing this company, I want to try the products. And they almost got shot down over one of their products by Big Pharma, which is called Colistin.
Okay, what is that?
Colistin is a natural supplement to help you balance your cholesterol, right? We say it keeps your cholesterol at the same level, but it really does more. I decided to do my own trial and research. Didn't tell my physicians, not that they would care. I didn't really feel, I've been down in South Florida for 24 years and haven't found a doctor that I really think listens to me. So I took myself off all my medications and I made dietary changes. I made lifestyle changes.
Lifestyle changes.
I really started doing yoga and some stretching, light walking, because I was terrified of even working out because I was in such bad shape.
Right.
And so I started doing that, doing some meditation for my mindset, changing my mindset, changing up my diet, adding more fruits and vegetables. I now roast them or lightly steam them or eat them raw. I do antioxidant shakes full of berries and fruits and greens and and got rid of my Italian. I'm a big Italian lover. So instead of
Yes.
having Italian food once a week, I do it maybe twice a month. I know my limits, right? So I stopped eating fried foods and fast foods and all those convenient things, because we are a sick care nation because of the way our food is presented to us, right? It's easy, it's convenient, and it's not good for us. And I took the nutraceuticals. I took the Nano Pack, which is the Life Pack Nano, which is nanotechnology, and it has a very high absorbency rate, 60 to 90%, which your typical nutraceuticals are only 6 to 9, maybe 19 at the best.
Okay.
So you want something that really absorbs in your body. I took their eye formula to clear my vision. I took the colistin to work on my cholesterol, and I just doubled the dose every night. And I took the Age-Lock Youth, which will actually reverse your age within your gene expressions in your DNA.
What is that?
And
the telomeres or something? It extends the telomeres?
It works with your gene expressions, and it actually reverses. So as we get older, our genes within our DNA change, right? They age. So by these products that I was on, I started out, the score on the scanner is 10,000 to 100,000. 100,000 obviously being where you want to be. Most of America fails this test. I've had
What's the failing? What number it means that you failed?
So 30,000 and under is really a DF.
It's bad, yes.
Yeah, it's bad.
What
and
were
that's your
you?
typical American, right? Because even though you think you're eating right, you're taking great supplements, and you're doing all the right things for yourself, this will indicate that there's either a deeper problem within you, or you have a gut issue, so you're not absorbing these great things you're doing.
Okay.
Or you're not really doing them well, and your supplements aren't working. So it's a really great way
Tool.
to base. Yeah, it's a great tool to base any of my clients, especially, on where they are. Where is the beginning?
Where were you? Where were you on the scale
I
when
was
you took?
24,000.
Oh, so you were below, way below average.
And I was like a 39-year smoker.
39.
So they expected me to bottom out.
Okay, you smoked for 39 years. So qualify that. How many cigarettes were you smoking a day?
Oh, probably 2 packs.
2 packs a day.
What?
That's a lot of smokes.
Yeah, that's a lot of smoking. And I was just really in bad health. So when I started on the products, within 3 months, I'm a type A personality, so I'm always on the
I can
don't
tell.
really stop and think about, how it's changing all the time. And you really do need to sit and journal your journey, because you really start seeing things quicker than later.
So talk to us about that. So when you have a journal and you're writing, what are you writing? Are you writing your thoughts for that day? Are you writing about what's upsetting you? What type of things would you be writing in your journal? Because our listeners want to know. Like maybe we have listeners that are smoking 2 packs a day and they're thinking, okay, I can start with it. I want to start something. What can I start today? Starting with a journal. Tell us about that.
So there's several different ways. I choose to use one journal and put everything in it, but there are ways. So you can have a dietary journal. So you keep track of what you're eating.
Oh, that's a good idea.
The medications you're taking, when and why. And then how do you feel when you get up in the morning, and how do you feel when you go to bed? And did you sleep better? Do you have more energy when you get up? Things like that. And then a mindset journal, which I think is important for everybody.
A mindset journal. Okay.
This is like a gratitude journal.
Okay.
When you wake up in the morning, what did you dream about? Write about it. What did you think about it? And what are you grateful for? When you go to bed, what were you grateful for today? What changes did you make to ease your mind, whether it be over finances, your health, your well-being, your friendships? Talk to yourself. It's a way to talk to yourself and get into your own self and learn your patterns and how to change them. Because you'll see yourself running up against the same things
Okay.
You know, what's that saying? You know, doing the same thing over and over and getting the same results doesn't move you forward, right?
Well, it's the
So
definition of
it
insanity.
is. And we
Yes.
all live in insanity, Rhonda. We all live in insanity.
We're not aware that we're doing it, though. And that's why I
Exactly.
like that you're talking about a journal. And when we talk about a journal, we don't have to go and get a hardcover book to start writing in. We can get a 3-ring binder, a 3-ring notebook and start writing in it. So we can also rip out what we don't want other people to see. People to see if there's other people who might want to take a look at that. So I think that safety, especially when you're writing personal things down regarding your life, you want to protect that. And so, I mean, we're talking about an investment of $3 or $4 here.
Oh, yeah.
To start this journey with a journal.
Absolutely. A spiral notebook works all day long, you know. Put them in a box with a little lock-in key when you're done with each journal, have them dated so you can go back at a later time. But I think it's really funny, I mean, not funny, but important that we do this because then we can see our journey. We can go back and say, you know, let me go back 6 months and see where I was. And within the 3-month marker for me, I was all in on Pharmanex and the scanner. I was all in. My hair grew back. I have eyelashes I never had before.
Wow.
My skin had gotten so thin that if I bumped it against a water bottle, it would rip open and I was in wound care. That's all firmed up. My inflammation is gone. My pain is gone. Now, that's not to say that there's some days I don't overdo it and I'm twinged, I'm pained, but I no longer take any medication, Rhonda. I'm on absolutely no pharmaceutical product.
Oh, fantastic.
And I feel so good. I sleep like a baby now. My sleeping patterns have totally changed, and changing my mindset changed what I have been doing for years to try to sleep, right? So it's a journey within yourself, but also if you have someone to walk that journey with you and help guide you so that, and you're accountable to, sometimes it's easier to do that with somebody outside of your household.
Oh, yes.
Because inside your household, nothing changes, right? Unless you make change. So having someone that guides you through this journey of wellness, whole body wellness is what I call it, really, because nutrition is very important. Nutrition can change your life. It changed mine. The nutraceuticals changed my life. And my mindset has completely changed me as a person internally. I'm more open to who I am becoming and feeling confident within myself on who I'm becoming, not on who I was.
Well, it sounds like your body, because your body isn't in the amount of stress and pain that you were in, it now frees up what you're thinking about, which is being in pain, protecting yourself. I mean, that's must have been really difficult to go through that, because I know if I have a headache, I can become immobilized by that until I, get some relief. So I understand that completely.
Yeah, it's been an incredible journey. Now, something that I've always wanted to do is help others, right? In all my jobs in the past, I've been a guider, a teacher, a mentor.
Mentor.
So when I got involved in Pharmanex and my team with them, we started Functional Wellness Network, and that's made up of DOs, pharmacists, naturopaths, functional medicine doctors, energy workers, and Reiki masters, right? So
Reiki masters.
We're all in it to help others and put health back into healthcare. So I had a really good guiding force along my journey.
Mm-hmm.
And because of them, we actually teamed up with a functional medicine college. So I took advantage of that, and I'm back in school.
Right.
So I decided with my transformation that's been so huge at the age of 60, I'll be 62 in a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
I no longer feel 85.
Oh,
I feel more like
fantastic.
35. My weight's gone down
Wow.
by 30 pounds in the last year and a half, which
Okay.
is tremendous. I could never lose weight from the day I turned 40. I just kept gaining. And it's all just because of mindset and lifestyle changes. And they're so easy once you've done them for a few months. It's so easy. I don't miss at all what was in my life before.
Okay.
I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided I wanted to go back to school and learn more about functional medicine and add that and start being, paying it forward. So
Okay.
I wanted to start a business where I can take others down this journey of wellness and to release themselves from pain, inflammation,
Mm-hmm.
menopausal issues, weight gain that we haven't been able to lose since we got menopause stole our bodies away, right? We want it back. I like to look at a functional approach. I also work with a holistic pharmacist. So we offer different tests to our clients that can find out on your DNA level what really works for you, whether it be food, medications, exercise. What are you predispositioned for down the road? Or are you looking at possibly having issues in your health that we can address now?
Mm-hmm.
And then trying to find the root cause of what's driving this. You may think it's just back pain, I've got a bad back, but a lot of times there's other issues internally that if we start working from the inside out,
Mm-hmm.
we can start releasing those and really making a change. Whereas in the world of medicine right now, it's just, let's give you this medicine. Oh, it's not working well. Let's pile this one on top to kick it in gear. Who does that?
Mm-hmm.
I would rather see a natural way to heal from the inside out. And that's what I try to take my clients through that journey and hold their hand and help them and guide them and be there to support them. And it really does help when you have someone doing that. You stay on track.
Well, it's like it's like having having a mentor or a checker, a person who checks in with you, or you check in, your patient checks in with you, because they'll have questions. Anytime people make lifestyle changes, it's very easy to see the results right away. And then we forget what we used to feel like before we saw those great results. And there's reminders that need to be made, I would imagine.
Oh, absolutely. And I am a firm believer in time. Any changes that you're making in your life, whether it be your nutrition, your supplementation, your medications, your lifestyle, your exercise routine, whatever it may be, it's going to take 3 to 6 months.
Oh, okay.
It really is going to take 3 to 6 months for you to really see and feel that whole picture come together. Typically 3 months, you're really starting to see a change for the better. 6 months gives you that pattern that's going to stay with you, number one. And you're really going to start seeing and feeling the results at 6 months that you'll never want to go back to where you were. Right. And something I always tell people, I hate New Year's. You know why? Because everybody wants to make New Year's resolutions. And they all fail by the end of January.
Or before.
I haven't met too many people that keep it going, right? And they say 30 days will create the pattern, or 20 days will create the pattern. I'm a firm believer in 30 to 60, and into 3 to 6 months to really make that a lifelong commitment of change that you don't even think about the bad habits
Mm-hmm.
It's just like I used to always have cheese and bread and all this stuff in my house. I don't even have it in my house. I don't even want it. I don't crave it.
It's not very good for you.
No, but it's delicious.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
but I don't
yes.
crave it anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really funny, but how that can change your mental thinking and clarity when you're not even realizing it, when you're going through this guided tour, as we can call it, right, to better health. Because after a while, it's easy because it's just not there anymore. All those old habits, you don't even think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you feel and you look and you are more beautiful, energized, everything from the inside out, and it radiates off you.
Mm-hmm.
So people will notice your change just by your attitude and your smile, and you look better and you feel better and you have more energy, and they'll be able to see that. So what have you been doing? You look great.
Well, your life ends up changing because you're vibrating at a completely different level because you're feeling good, you're looking good, and there's nothing better than both of those things to make you smile. And then what happens is you start attracting really good people and really good things into your life.
Absolutely. It
Right?
changes everything.
Changes everything. You're listening to the Rhonda Grant Show right now, whose podcast has been treated by my sponsor with digital audio health by Symatrex. And I am speaking with Sheri Mills today. How may people contact you, Sheri, if they wanted to hop on board and take advantage of what you're talking about?
Oh, thank you, Rhonda. Well, they can reach me on my email. I spell my name Sheri. So that's Sheri, Sheri, at yourwellnessredefined.com, or my website is yourwellnessredefined.com, or they can reach me at 954-899-8488.
That's wonderful. And, maybe at the end of the show, we'll have some time for you to repeat that for our listeners. So do you feel that you've been called to what you're doing?
I do, Rhonda. And not only because if I can do this at 60, anybody can make a change.
Because you're not smoking two packs of cigarettes a day anymore, are you?
No.
Mm-hmm.
When you start feeling better, you don't need your old crutches. So
okay.
Yeah, it's you just want to continue on the journey, and you're like competition, especially if you have access to the scanner. So like I'm at 58,000 now. So I'm an A now. I'm not an A plus, but I'm an A.
Right.
And I'm happy with an A. Because if you get your antioxidant level up, like I did, having a little emphysema from being a smoker all those years, was very terrifying when COVID was around.
Oh.
And all my doctors were like, you got to take the shots, to prevent, because it's very dangerous for you. And I didn't want to do that. So when I did get it, I had a rough patch for about 28 hours. Brain fog was real. Fatigue was real. But as far as my breathing and everything, it wasn't that bad of a deal because my antioxidant levels were protecting me. So if your antioxidant levels are high, your cells are being protected from cancer, from heart disease, from diabetes, from COVID, right? So everybody's goal is to be as healthy as possible by getting your antioxidant levels up, because you'll see and feel totally different. And so putting your hand on the scanner every 60 days to see where you are, kind of like a race to get better. So it makes the journey a little bit more fun if you have a tool like this.
Well, yeah, it's a pointer, right?
Yeah.
It's those milestones, those small milestones along the way.
But it gets competitive within yourself. And which is And I lost my train of thought. Where were we on that?
So we were talking about, do you feel that you're called to what you're doing. And this is what we've been discussing. But
Yes.
with that said, what extraordinary discovery have you found in your life?
Well, that's interesting that you asked me that.
Okay.
I recently had a medium meeting
Yes.
and discovered that in all my past lives, I was a healer.
Wow.
So she kind of confirmed that I'm on the right track, reinventing myself at this stage of my life to give back to others, because this is something that has been in my makeup for centuries and lifetimes. And I think that was why I was always called to work with the medical community. Maybe.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why I've always been an empath, caring
Right.
and nurturing with people.
Right.
So that just kind of instilled in me that I'm going down the right path to help others. And it just wraps me in warmth to know that
Right. Right.
what I'm doing is instilled in me for lifetimes to give back. And it was quite a discovery. And
It is. And I mean, when you talk about past lives, I mean, our listeners, I can just see their antennas go up a little bit because, people like that conversation.
Mhm.
And so can you elaborate on that? Like, did the medium talk to you at all about the types of healer that you were in past lives?
No, I've always been a healer. In some lives, I wasn't. People didn't understand me.
Okay.
Probably was a witch. Who knows?
Well, I mean, that was that just means
or their version of.
Well, that just means that you had special abilities, and the Inquisition certainly took care of the so-called witches, or a lot of the witches is what they were called. But really, what it meant is you just had special abilities and that you were able to use those with your healing, I would imagine.
And she told me that in some cases people didn't understand it, but they were all drawn to me when they needed help. So
okay.
I'm learning more and more about this. I'm opening up more and more to this.
Yes.
I did go through a time in my life where I think I had spiritual beings around me, and I kind of shut that down, and I'm in a point in my life where I'm opening back up to them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's another part of my journey right now. And,
and it's difficult when you start feeling those types of energies around you, unless you're really grounded.
Mm-hmm.
And because it can scare you because you're unsure of their messages, right?
Right. And she's telling me I have 4 guides that are looking out for me and to ask for their help. And so I'm working on this.
Great. Awesome. So we're having a wonderful chat today. Is there anything that you'd like to talk about that we have not yet talked about? I mean, did you want to talk about pain management? Is that a topic?
Pain management as far as your health. I mean, so many people like myself thought they were just stuck living in this manner.
Right.
And you're not alone. There's, I would say, probably 86% of the adults in America are going through some form of pain and inflammation. And there is a way to release most of that through nutrition, getting the proper nutrition, supplements, minerals, and nutrients in your body makes a whole lot of difference. You don't have to be a vegan. You don't have to change all that much. You just have to change how you cook maybe, and learn to do some light stretching and balancing of yourself in other areas of your life. And it really does make a big difference. I'm not saying that everyone I work with is going to be off medications permanently for any reason.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can manage your inflammation and your pain naturally, instead of putting poison in your body, like I did,
Mm-hmm.
that's huge. That's
Oh,
huge.
yeah, it is huge. And a lot of illnesses from inflammation.
Well, and there's a lot of things that cause inflammation, and you could feel it all over your body and in your joints, and it could be coming from your gut.
Mm-hmm.
It could be coming from foods that don't like you, but you love them. I was talking to somebody yesterday. She adores eggs. She wants eggs every day, but she can't have eggs. And it's tearing her up. She can't have eggs, but she feels completely different since you removed them from her life. You know, it's sometimes we really don't know until we know. And sometimes that's having testing done. Sometimes that's taking what I call a nutritional journey where we remove certain things from your palate over time. And then we can slowly start integrating them if nothing's been changing to see what is really affecting you and not. So we can do that too. It's just a longer process.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, you know, doing a few tests. Let's find out right now, instead of doing a long 6-month journey of removing different things from your diet, to find out really what it is that's causing that. It's a journey, and everybody's DNA is different. Everybody's different. So I don't use the same advice to any two people. Everybody's different.
Right. It'd be a different formula.
And everybody works different and lives different. So you have to find ways within the way they live to make those tweaks and those changes that is simple for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but they've got to be wanting to go down that journey to better health and having a better quality of life. I mean, my life has completely changed.
Yes.
I now have quality of life. Now I want to go out. I want to be part of the community and, you know, walk in nature where I thought I couldn't do it before because I couldn't go very far.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, that's just amazing. That's wonderful. So before we wrap up the show, do you want to tell our listeners one more time how they may reach out and contact you?
Thank you, Rhonda.
You're welcome.
You can go to my website, which is yourwellnessredefined.com. You can reach me on my email at Sheri@yourwellnessredefined, which is Sheri, Sheri. Or you can reach me at 954-899-8488.
Thank you. And thank you for being on the show. I mean, you've imparted a lot of information for our listeners, and I'm hoping that they'll reach out to you and hire you to help them into their new life.
Well, Rhonda, I so appreciate you, and thank you for having me. This has been enjoyable.
Great. It's been a pleasure. Theme song for the Rhonda Grant Show, Sun on the Water, is composed and performed by my friend John Park Wheeler. This is Rhonda Grant with the Rhonda Grant Show, author of Magical Forces Within, Extraordinary Discoveries in an Ordinary Life, inviting you to take a look for the magical forces within yourself today and every day. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in to the Rhonda Grant Show with your host, Rhonda Grant. If you would like to find out more information about Rhonda and her upcoming guests and the work that she does, go to her website, rhondagrantauthor.com. That's rhondagrantauthor.com.
Digital audio health by Symatrax.